Congrats on the win. 38 seconds, the exact amount of time it took Robbie to win his fight right before, which was kind of interesting. Just how'd you feel about the performance in there?
I felt good. To me, that's just a big credit to my team, American Top Team, and my coaches. I'm just so grateful that I have them in my corner, and to be able to do something like that as a wrestler, it means a lot to me because of those guys and how much they put into me. Musa Al-Suleimani, Barry Robinson with a Million Styles Boxing, Mike Brown, Ayotum Barboza. I'm just so grateful to have such awesome coaches. And like I said, I wouldn't be able to do that without those guys.
What was the adrenaline rush of putting away someone like that? Because I'm sure dominating someone on the mat and using your grappling is one thing, but to do that, is it a different kind of feeling?
It felt good. I think that, again, like I said, I'm just proud to represent my team in a positive way. And the adrenaline is incredible. There's nothing like MMA. There's no sport in the world that can compare, in my opinion, and just how free it is and how much you can do. And so every time I get to go out and compete, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and the rush is undeniable. So I want to do that as much as I can in my life.
How do you find the balance now, right? Because that's always the thing about the high-level wrestlers that's coming in. It's like they want to develop their striking, right? But you don't want to fall too much in love with the hands. You want to stick with your bread and butter. So how do you plan on navigating that balancing act?
For me, a big part of that is where I live and train. I live and train in State College, Pennsylvania, and I'm in the Penn State wrestling room almost every day. I'm training with the best wrestlers in the entire world, Olympic gold medalists, national champions. It's just, the list goes on and on. And so, I'll always stay true to my roots. Of course, I'm going to develop these other skills because I treat every single martial art, whether it's boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, with the same amount of respect and the same amount of reverence. And so by the end of my career, I already have world-class wrestling. I'm going to have world-class boxing. I'm going to have world-class Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to have world-class Muay Thai. And I'm going to compete on a world-class level in any of those disciplines individually, and obviously in MMA as well.
And congrats on being a father soon. How is that going to impact the schedule in terms of when we might see you again?
I don't know. I'm just fresh off this win. This is all I've been focused on for the past while. And so as far as scheduling goes, I'm going to take a couple of days, hang out with my wife, talk with my management team and coaches, and see where we go from there.
I'm wondering, obviously that night in March was very special, very huge. How would you compare tonight compared to March?
I think that, obviously March being my debut, it was special, but to me this was even more special because I was able to have my whole team here with me, and at the same time, I think I performed much, much better.
That happens around here.
Yeah, no worries. I think I performed much better. Obviously, getting a knockout finish is pretty exciting and pretty cool thing to do. Especially given it's International Fight Week. I think the energy was absolutely insane this whole week, and it was definitely one of my favorite performances I've had in my career.
I always ask the high-level wrestlers this. Obviously, you're working your hands, you're working everything like you just said. But when you get in that cage and maybe he stands up tall a little bit, is it hard to break that habit of those, the hips, the legs, the takedown is just right there when you're in there?
Well, it was interesting because going into the fight, I really expected my opponent to kind of charge me, rush in, try to land something big because, to me that was really his only chance to win the fight. But he was really patient, which I think is a testament to his team, his coaches. He was following a game plan. And I had to adjust on the fly. So I saw that he was being patient, backing up, and dropping his hand a lot his lead hand when I was feigning. And so then I just came right over top of it with a hook. So I just had to make an adjustment and capitalize on it.
Over here, you said immediately the haters will always have something to say, and people, they want to see me fail. What do you think they could possibly say about you after this performance?
I don't know. I think that for me, I've always experienced people that want me to win and people that want me to lose. That's kind of how it goes when you're part of a wrestling team, especially a wrestling team like Penn State that dominates the NCAA entirely. And so, for me, that's nothing new. But I know by the time I got to my junior, senior year in college, and I built my reputation enough to where all these fans knew me that even I had Iowa fans, I'd have Ohio State fans, Oklahoma State fans that would come up to me and tell me that they love watching me wrestle and they respected me, and if I wasn't competing against their team, they would cheer for me. So I think as the MMA community continues to get to know me, I think that it bothers them a little bit that I'm got the attention that I have so quickly with 5 fights, which, I mean, it makes sense. But I think as they continue to get to know me, I build my reputation that they'll probably start liking me.
Well, you talk about the fans. Do your fellow fighters do you sense their sort of resentment that you're kind of getting all this attention?
No, I don't really sense resentment from fighters at all. I have a great team at American Top Team, and all those guys have been super supportive of me, wanted to help me. Of course, I want to help them as well. I want to teach them wrestling and what I have going on. But yeah, I feel a lot of support there, and I can't speak for how other gyms are talking about me or anything, because I only train at ATT, and that's the only place I want to be, because that's where the best fighters and the best coaches are in the entire world.
And final one for me, did you get a chance to see the Dricus Duplessis Robert Whittaker fight, and what did you think of that?
I didn't really get to watch much of it. I just saw the result, and I was surprised. I figured that Rob would win, but yeah, hats off to Dricus for beating a tough opponent.
Hey, Bo, would you be surprised if you get a top 15 opponent next? Like, is that something that you want, or do you want to develop more and knock off these, not top 15, like top 20, top 25 fighters?
Right now, I'm going to enjoy tonight. I'll get back with my team next week, my management team, first round management, my coaches at American Top Team, and we'll discuss. I think I develop a ton every single camp, and we'll see what's next. For me, I believe I can beat anybody in the world with my skill set, and I'm going to continue to improve. Right now, today is the worst that I'll be moving forward. So with that being said, we'll sit down and make a decision.
Would you like to fight like a Dagestani kind of wrestler to go American versus Russian wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. I have so much respect for the Dagestani fighters. I think that their lifestyle, the way they approach the sport, is very similar to myself and my team, and how we live and how we approach the sport. And I respect those guys a ton. I think they're at the top of the sport, obviously competing at a high level, and I want to test myself against the best. So eventually, when it makes sense, we'll make it happen.
Hey, Bo, over here. How satisfying is it to show your striking and see the improvements and see it on display on this huge card? Because you come from a wrestling background, you're not just a wrestler, you're a martial artist now.
It's definitely exciting, just because I know how much work I put in, how much time and effort I put in to do that, and I'm just so happy that my work is paying off, and I'm happy for my team and those guys, because I was able to execute all the things that we work on together. It's really what I'm proud of most is doing it together. Of course, I won, but I really feel like in reality we all won.
When you first got into MMA, was this kind of the timeline you thought would happen in terms of where you are in your career, or has it gone even faster than you thought?
It's gone so much faster. I really expected to have 10 fights before I even got into the UFC. And I had my first professional fight last June, so 13 months ago, and now I'm 5-0 with 2-0 in the UFC, 5 finishes, all first round. Did not see that coming, but here we are.
And you're going to become a dad. Congrats on that. That's awesome. Now that you're a dad now, what does a post-fight celebration look like today?
I don't know. I'll see, but it might involve changing some diapers, and hopefully the baby's not up too late. But I don't know what time babies go to bed, but probably earlier than this.
Bo, back here. You had a change of opponent, and I've heard of many times of fighters talking about they don't train for specific opponents, they just train to fight the best versions of themselves. For you, is that a mentality that you also take? Absolutely.
For me, my performance is all based on effort. It's not based on my opponent, and it was unfortunate that I had to make the switch up, but it all works out. I believe that God has a plan for my life. He has a plan for everyone else's life, and it's all going to work out accordingly. So I don't stress or worry about it. I just do what I can.
And my last one for you. I know, obviously, you said, you're more than that. You're more than a wrestler. You're a martial artist, right? You're improving very.
Did I say that?
Yeah. Well, you agreed to James saying that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm a wrestler. Let's get it straight. Yeah.
But no, I was going to say, you're improving very fast. Tell me what it's like to notice those improvements, fight after fight.
It's awesome. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's all my team. If I was trying to figure this out on my own, there would be no chance. It really goes to show how high level my team is, how dedicated they are, and I'm just the kind of end result. So, I'm going to continue to train, continue to trust them, develop, improve, get better, and I know where I'm headed, and we're all headed there together.